So guiding us in this process, right from the very beginning, we engaged a company called Rios Partners. And Rios is one of the global leaders in social lab or change lab processes. They also work in other powerful processes like scenario planning. They're a global organization that's helping different organizations all over the world tackle complex systems challenges using these powerful new approaches. And so we've been working with one of their senior partners, Adam Kahane, and another of their senior partners, Monica Pullman, since the beginning. And so one of the really exciting things about the Engineering Change Lab is we're drawing on this expertise in this powerful new approach to actually to drive this change. And if you're interested, some of the books from some of the Rios partners, like Adam Kahane, is a well-known author and kind of global leader. In his book Power and Love, or Transformative Scenario Planning, he tells some of the stories from his other work. For example, he was part of a group that helped when South Africa was reaching the end of apartheid. He led a very famous scenario planning process that actually helped come up with tangible stories of how South Africa could emerge from apartheid that actually helped shaping what happened, and is credited by some major leaders like Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu as actually having a significant impact on how South Africa did in fact emerge from apartheid. So there's some amazing stories from other sort of change processes around the world that you can pick up from the books or from interacting with Adam and other Rios partners. So this is a bit of a sense of sort of some of the countries and some of the challenges that Rios Partners involved in. And you can see, all over the world, on issues from energy to food security to illegal drugs. So these are big, stuck, complex challenges that haven't responded typically to sort of the standard approaches to driving change. And so social labs, change labs, scenario planning, these similar processes are increasingly over the last couple of decades enabling diverse groups of leaders to make progress. One of the cool things about the Engineering Change Lab is, to the best of Rios's knowledge, and they have a pretty good view of kind of globally what's going on in this space, this is the first time that a change lab, social lab approach has been applied specifically to the higher potential of a profession, and so there's actually some other professions as we've been kind of progressing our work, both engineering in other countries and other professions like accounting that have actually expressed interest in what we're doing here and how that might be employed in their context. So one of the more famous sort of ongoing social labs or change labs as a reference is the Sustainable Food Lab, which has been running for almost 20 years now. And so its mission when it was first launched was basically to mainstream the idea of sustainability into the global food dialect. And that's a big goal, but you can see on here there's some big organizations here, from Unilever and McDonald's on kind of the for-profit side, but you also have like World Wildlife Foundation and sort of the nonprofit side. So these are large global players that actually have an ability to affect a goal like that. And so, as consumers, I think we've all felt over the last 15, 20 years how sustainability has in fact come more into the global food dialect, even at a sort of a consumer level in Canada and in other countries around the world. Now, of course, all of that is not due to the work of the food lab directly, the Sustainable Food Lab directly, but behind the scenes, it's been really important work that's helped advance that cause. And whenever you see a list like this, any of the organizations on here deserves credit for expressing this new type of leadership, where they're coming together and working in collaboration for a greater good, for a bigger systems change. So that's something to be applauded anytime you see participants in this type of effort. Within a group like this, there's always the leaders amongst leaders who not only participate in a lab platform or in this type of kind of collaborative undertaking, but also are involved in helping make the platform and the undertaking kind of available for everyone else. So in this case, Unilever got a lot of credit for being sort of a key driver of helping make the Sustainable Food Lab happen in the first place and kind of convening everybody. So as a result of that, this is from Unilever's website. They have this goal: by 2020, we will source 100% of our agricultural raw materials sustainably. And in their words, this is not a goal that they could have achieved on their own. This would require partners and supply chains and a broader change in the system. So for them, being a part of this bigger systems change, which they care about in the world as a player in the system, also ultimately puts them on the cutting edge of the changes in that system and the ability to take bold steps.